Welcome back everyone to Hirscheck. It is season 2 with our wonderful wildlife park, and today we are going to start the whole thing a little bit more different. This is the overview of Hirscheck as it is. We got deers, badgers, the wonderful lynx, my actual zodiac sign, the ibex or Capricorn, a whole bunch of wolves, the cheeky little raccoons, the cute little red fox, and of course the majestic red deer. And all that together is not a typical zoo, but actually a wildlife reserve in which everything is a little bit more natural, a little bit more focused on the environment and making sure that the nature is synced a little bit more with the animals living in that. So, the perfect ground to bring in our Eurasian animals, and there is a lot of space available around our area. So the first thing we have to do is to define where things go. So without further ado, let's just do that. Alright, here's Rudy from the future, the time-lapse Rudy. I'm gonna quickly talk you through this wonderful setup we are going to do. The new part of Hirscheck is going to be located to the left-hand side of the original park. Now, let me just get you through the storyline of what I'm envisioning over here while we're doing a little bit of a parking lot here, because the idea is that usually in the past this whole kind of wildlife reserve was only one area in which you have like one entrance, but over the time, you know, they got more and more animals, rescued animals that they had to house over here in Hirscheck. So most of the animals we will find in this park are rescued animals from the wild that can't be released back into the forest because of dangers, you know, maybe even some of which animals have issues with the health, for example. So I'm also willing to have you guys included into making a story for each of our animals that are going to go into the zoo. So the first task you guys will have is for the sloth bear. You have to name a story down below. And the best story I'm gonna pick and put this story on a board. You know, every single board, which is not a board, but it's like a board on which we are going to have something written. And this is gonna be our story. And we will also put a story in for the already existing animals later on. Now, what I'm setting up over here is what you've seen on the thumbnail. This is gonna be the entrance to the second part of this Hirscheck. It's gonna be a bit more modern, but trust me, I'm gonna make it weathered down later on, a little bit more classic looking, so I don't want to go too much. And it's also heavily inspired by something I found. And let me just give you quickly the name of it. This is the Wildparkhaus in Solling in the visitor center. So that is something I found very interesting looking, and I kind of took inspiration from that. I'll change it up a little bit eventually. You will not see everything in this time lapse because this is mainly focused on setting up the, you know, proportions and everything that we needed before handing you on to the next real-time part. And you know, I want to change these episodes up a little, give you a bit more of an insight how I got to the point where we are, taking you with me on the journey we are building, and we are setting up everything I needed over here with a little staircase. You know, it's very important for like a natural area like this that we work a bit more with inclines. You know, if you have like a very bare-bone flat land, it's gonna look super boring, and this is why like we work together with the forest. You know, we are not working against it, we are working with the environment, and we don't try to shape it after our requirements. We will make our things after the requirements of the nature. So yeah, that's how the left-hand side of the Hirscheck Wildpark is going to be looking like in the future, making like a little crosswalk over here. And that's almost it for the little preparations. I have some blueprints in place that I will use throughout the series, but more about them later. And now I hand you over to the real-time part again. Alright, step 1 done, we have a new entrance. That is the new entrance to the other side of Hirscheck. As you can tell, there is plenty of space now available in this little curve over here. So basically my roads maintained a certain, well, not really planned layout, but you know what, it's just gonna hug the wonderful forest that we're having in front of us here, and we might actually continue this forest out to the back to make the overall idea more believable. So what I will do is I will now lay out with you together in the real-time part, because people have asked me to do more real-time stuff. So here we go. I'm gonna lay out the entire area as we will continue with this over the next, well, I guess 2-ish weeks. So the first thing, and that's the most important one at the beginning, this is the connection to the main part of Hirscheck, because I want to make sure that everyone can go from this entrance to the other one. So the idea is that this is like kind of the very old Wildpark, you know, that's the original Hirscheck, and this is kind of the continuation of it, the second part of it. And the idea to combine both of them is to use this little bit in between. I'm just going to try now to just find the perfect way between all those trees. Oh my god, yeah, see, that was the wrong way. These things happen, you know, usually you don't see that in the time lapses, and also you do see a bit more frames than that. Okay, we wait now for all the trees to come back, while, oh my god, the sound though. is it done? Oh yeah, there you go. Frames are back, noise. Okay, so what we're gonna do is let's just delete these bits over here. Awesome. Okay, so what we gotta do though is we have to then make sure that these two habitats are actually separated from each other, which they are at the moment not. So what we're gonna do first of all is, let me just also take a new one in here, and then I'm gonna say plus, yeah, you can go there, that's fine, and connect it via this one, and then I'm gonna do another one that just connects those two sides first of all, and then you know what, I'm just gonna, oops, let me just click that pillar over here too, and I'm just gonna say I need another one. Hello, no, wait, let me just go, I need to have just that one in the middle, there you go, and then we just bring that one up here. It doesn't need to be like super accurate, but this is exactly what I needed. So we can basically delete this bit in between, and the same goes for these. There you go, and that one can go too. Oops, that was stupid. Where is the problem? Now basically, I don't really get why this would destroy a habitat. What about this one? Okay, so that still works. Okay. They say habitat have merged. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna take care of that later, because wherever this issue is, I have no idea where exactly it is, and I don't want to bother you guys with this one. This is something I can find out later. It will eventually work. And what we're gonna do then is we make sure that we can meander the path through here. So that means we also need like a little bit of a nicer transition into this area. Let's just also go a bit more, get more wide on the pathing. So that's going to be like a very cool natural little trail going all the way down. This already looks, well, it just doesn't look so good. I thought that looks better, but it's not really the kind of slope I needed. But this is kind of the slope we can utilize here. There you go. And then we're just going to merge this together, smoothen that out a little, and then we can just get rid of these two. I think I'm quite happy with the overall incline of this, and what I want to do now is I'm just going to grab the path, and then 6 meters is a little wide for that one. Let's just use 5 meters. I'm not going to connect them as of now. Let's just put this so far back that I could technically. Okay, well that just doesn't work because of free build, so let me just do the following. I'm just going to bring this all the way through here, and then I'm just going to delete the first part. There you go. Okay, I can always just reconnect those two. That's exactly what I needed. And now I'm just going to bring this in. I'll do some terraforming later on. And there you go. This is where we connected the path. Okay, cool. So this is going to be here, and this is also being connected with this Backstage hub, which is untouched till now. And the next bit is going to be the main layout. And for that, there's going to be a teeny tiny time lapse of me just painting the bottom. And then we're going to talk about this. Alright, Painty has been done, and I even added some names now over here. Let's quickly go over what we've done. So this first habitat is going to be our first edition, which is hopefully going to be released tomorrow. This is going to be the sloth bear. Then we are going to have the wild boar. Yes, this is a bee. Don't judge it. It's a bee. Trust me. Then over here we are going to have the wolverine with a little bit of a nice climbing habitat, a lot of things. There's going to be like a little water stream going into the main lake. That's going to be obviously the one for the swan. This is not only an S, this is actually a swan, okay? You know, that one over here is going to be the recent. Then we go over to the takin. I'm very much looking forward to that habitat. It's also going to feature another restaurant build that is going to be in here, because that building over here is not going to be a restaurant. More about that in a second. And then we also have the wonderful saiga, which is going to be filled into this area. We're going to have the next episodes out rather quickly after each other, because I have already prepared a lot of nature focused things, and these habitats, as so many of you requested, will be focused on realism and nature. So I assume that they will be a little bit quicker because I don't need to focus on too many things other than making this a very natural habitat, which I think is a brilliant challenge for this specific time over here. And we're going to have some shared habitats, you know, this means like some shared shelters. This one is going to focus on a bigger shelter for the Wiesent and the Saiga as well, and the Takin is going to have like the one for the swans as well. Then we're going to have the sloth bear and the wild boar share one as well. The only one that is going to have an individual one is the wolverine. So that is it for the moment as explanation. The last bit we need to talk about is the beautiful new souvenir shop. In case you haven't seen that one, it's part of the free update alongside a lot of shop props I want to show you. They have basically integrated them all into the game. It's not only that you can select them. If you go into this one, you're going to say the tote bags, noise, but you can also say tote bags in here, and there you go. You get them all individually as an item, which I think is beautiful, and this will create some more frame issues because we will be absolutely abusing these tiny objects. Let me just quickly tell you how small they are, okay? So this is a mug, and you can put the mug up top if you want to, and you could also say, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna have some mugs in here too, and look, there's our individual one is in here, and you can even just drag that. Also, is there my, yay, there you go, wait a sec, I have my own mug, the one that I won with the build-off is in here. Look, this is the one I have at home. Oh, this is so freaking cool. This is I literally have this standing right next to me. So that is pretty awesome that I have this mug in here too. Okay, cool. Yeah, my own mug is in here. Lovely. But yeah, this one's going to be dressed up now. As for the last things of today's episode, this is going to be the basic shelter. It's not going to be the finished thing, but you're going to see why in the next episode. So hopefully you guys found this interesting. This episode is a little bit of a different. I hope you enjoy that one. And now in the final couple of minutes, I'm going to talk you through the rest of the time-lapse and will give you a little bit more insight to how this series is going to pan out. I hope you are as excited as I am. And now I talk to you in the time-lapse. Alright, here's future Rudy back, and I must admit that I enjoyed doing this episode so far a lot. I really hope that you guys can feel it. Let me know in the comments down below how you like the pacing and the style of this editing of these episodes. I just wanted to give you a bit more of something different for the cozy winter times, and Hirscheck is always the perfect frontier to escape to once we do these things. Now, I already talked about this in the first time-lapse part. It's now starting to make this building look like an actual building. We are obviously using the wonderful new shop in here, which I think is a brilliant addition to the game. I was a bit hesitant to talk about this because I do see it being a thing that is super good at the beginning, but over time will become a little bit more of a people pleaser in a way, but then again, it doesn't really have that much impact. So I wanted to really make sure it has a huge impact in our build. As I said, it's focused a bit more on the story behind this park and behind this wildlife reserve. So everything that's been sold over here is helping the animals directly, because these wildlife reserves usually do depend on people giving money to them. It's a lot of crowdsourcing, a lot of asking for money, you know, because usually they don't have like that huge income from people visiting. The entrance fees are mostly very, very low or even non-existent. I do know a lot of wildlife areas around here that don't even take money from people visiting. They mostly take the money from people buying stuff inside of the area, like shops and, you know, booking some, I don't know, educational stuff, for example. And this is something we are going to have throughout here as well. Even the menus in our future restaurant will be having an extra fee that goes directly into supporting the animals that live here. And just a reminder, if you want to be part of it, make sure to always drop down below a little storyline. Our first animal in the next episode is going to be the sloth bear, so make sure to put the story down. And as I'm already quite far into building it, make sure to really put it down today, because then I can focus that for the next episode. Really looking forward to that. And as for the building over here, you can see the main focus of this building was really trying to work with this more modern inspiration that I had from this already existing building. I changed up the style a little because this building is just like a visitor center. This one over here is like a, kind of a little shop that we have. So really looking forward to seeing what this can become for us in the future. I really do hope that this series is going to spark a lot of inspiration for you guys too, because it's not like the typical kind of zoo. It's more like something wildlife reserve focused that usually isn't the thing you see in most of the projects out there. So really hoping that this can give you some inspiration, including obviously inspiration for this build. This over here is a good situation to quickly talk about the weathering effect. Let's call it the weathering effect. I want to make this building look not super modern anymore, okay? Because the contrast between the very old-fashioned, super traditional Hirscheck on the other side and this one shouldn't be too crazy. So you will see the buildings become older and older the more we move towards the other side of the zoo, the wildlife reserve, I should say. And you will see more and more kind of connections between those two. We will add some more modern things to the old part as well, just to tie in the whole story a bit more. And we are going to work a lot more with the spawners for people and stuff. And I've got a very nice idea for a restaurant, something I haven't seen anyone doing, so I may actually make this episode earlier, because that is something I've never seen anyone doing, and I've found there's a little thing we can do, but more about that in the future episode, most likely of the mute swan. But yeah, this is already the end of the episode. I did a couple of things in between, which you'll see in the next episode, but I really hope you guys enjoyed that one. I certainly did enjoy this a lot, and I hope to see you in the next one. If you're new to the channel and you liked what you've just seen, make sure to subscribe to the channel to be informed about more, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Stay safe and have a good time. Goodbye, guys.